So part of the company culture, so you can move super fast. Part of your company culture is to say, where are your ethical norms? And part of what's happening frequently in these companies is you're challenging existing regulation, existing industries, and part of how, when I'm asked to explain it, like on television, so I said, look, there's one way of challenging it, which try to go through a legal process, which is long and slow and expensive and difficult. And there's another way of challenging it, which is to try to deploy it and show that it's actually much better for consumers, it's much better for society, and that's what you're trying to do. And being in dialogue, of course, still with the regulators, and trying to be upfront and trustworthy as you're doing it, you're still challenging it, but trustworthy as you're doing it, is an important way of navigating. And so the kinds of things that, for example, there was a bunch of internal cultural problems at Uber, and so there's another kind of essay I wrote on LinkedIn, which is failing the transition from pirate to a navy, and there's some section of that in the book too, because by the way, you may want to start as the disruptor, but eventually you're going to become the infrastructure. You're going to become the as you succeed. It's important that you actually get kind of setting norms and predictability and stability for society, for your customers, et cetera. But then there's also okay, we're challenging the former order and we're trying to show why the new order is good. But you have to be doing that within the context of we're trying to set up a new order. We're not trying to say, oh, it should all be lawless. We're trying to say the rules should change from this to this, and the world will be much better off. People will be better off. Customers will be better off. Society will be better off. And by the way, Uber had really strong arguments in this. I mean, yes, there's some problems with traffic and congestion. There's some problems with, did you double check safety as well as you should? And these are things you should be working on. But the revolution of transport is actually, in fact, extremely important. And so that's kind of where you begin to see what the deadlines are. Because they were like, oh, we're pirates and we're doing this thing. Oh, what we're going to do is we're going to lie to people. We're going to say, well, we have fewer cars on the road than we do. We're going to say, oh, we're going to try to set up, we're going to do specialized code so that when government officials, including police, try to see what's going on, it looks really small to them. And it's like, okay, well, how the hell is someone going to trust you? And when you start trying to say, hey, we're setting up now part of the infrastructure now, do people trust you? Why should they trust you now? If you were lying to them, why should they trust you? So you don't have to lie to them. You go to them and say, look, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it. And they say, well, but this is counter our regulation. And say, but this is why we think you should give us some time to prove out why this is valuable. And we're being straight with you is a much, much better way of doing it.